Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3,000 Songs of the Rock Era. I'm your host, David Tear, where I feature my personal list of my top 3,000 songs of the rock era from 1954 to 1999. Um, and I'm up to song number 2545 today, and that one is I've Just Seen a Face by the Beatles. And this was not released as a single, but it was released on two different albums of theirs. First, it was released on their album Help, but it wasn't released in North America on this album, everywhere else in the world, I guess. That was 1965. And later that year, it was released on their Rubber Soul album. That's what was released in North America. And here's a picture of the Beatles around the time they recorded it. And I'm featuring many, many songs by the Beatles on my list, a total of 91 altogether. This is, I think, the 15th one I've featured so far. So I'm not going to talk about the Beatles history. I haven't done that anyway. Too much to say about them. My favorite group of all time, and I think a lot of other people's. And I guess I just want to talk about this song. I've just seen a face. So, like I said, it was released in 1965, but only on their albums, Help and Rubber Soul, not as a single. Like a lot of their other songs, they didn't release all the songs they recorded. If they did, I think they would have had about twice as many hits as they did. But anyway, uh, this song was actually, even though the writing credits are given to John Lennon and Paul McCartney, like most of the Beatles songs, it was actually Paul who wrote the song, and even John himself admitted that it was really only Paul who wrote it. And Paul wrote it in, I think it was in November of 1963, and he wrote it in the basement. There was a music room in the basement of his girlfriend's house. His girlfriend was Jane Asher. Here's a picture of Paul and Jane. I think this is in 1968, right around the time they broke up. They were together from 1963 to 1968. I think the following year he married Linda Eastman. She became Linda McCartney, and they were married until Linda died, which wasn't that long ago. I think maybe 20 years ago. So they had a very successful marriage, and I think Paul and Jane had a pretty successful relationship. I mean, they never got married, but they were together for 5 years, which I think is pretty commendable for young adults around that time. And I believe also Jane Asher was Peter Asher's sister. He was of Peter and Gordon. I think Peter and Gordon were also friends of the Beatles, if I'm not mistaken, and they even recorded a few songs written by Lennon and McCartney, like "A World Without Love" and a few others. I think I'm not sure which ones. Woman, I think. But anyway, so that's pretty much everything I have to say about "I've Just Seen a Face." It's a really good song. I can sing the first verse if you want. It goes, "I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time or place where we first met. She's just a girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Na 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 na." I'd sing it to karaoke, but it's very fast, and there's a 1 second delay between my microphone and my computer, so I would probably screw it up if I did it to karaoke. But at least you got to hear the first verse from me a cappella. Anyway, that's I've Just Seen a Face by the Beatles. Thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.